in a stunning twist that has Hollywood reeling. Academy Award-winning actress Cate Blanchett has allegedly called out Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, accusing them of behavior that some insiders are now describing as deeply disturbing. While most of the entertainment world has long viewed Ryan and Blake as one of the most beloved couples in Hollywood, recent revelations suggest there may be a darker truth lurking behind the smiles, jokes, and red carpet charm. According to multiple sources close to the situation, Cate Blanchett recently made a series of comments during a closed-door industry panel, remarks that were never meant to be public. But when a leaked recording hit the internet, it sent shockwaves through social media. Cate's voice is unmistakable, and her words are chilling. They thought it was funny. It wasn't. It was demeaning, and honestly, it felt like harassment. The alleged incident dates back several months, when Cate and Ryan were involved in a charity project hosted by a major studio. Blake Lively was reportedly also present during multiple meetings and rehearsals. According to the leaked clip, Cate described a pattern of relentless, sarcastic jabs and mocking behavior coming primarily from Ryan, with Blake allegedly encouraging it or laughing along. At first, Cate says, she tried to brush it off. After all, Ryan Reynolds is known for his signature brand of sarcastic humor. But the actress, known for her commanding performances and no-nonsense demeanor, felt the jokes quickly crossed a line. It wasn't banter. It was targeted, she reportedly said. What began as casual digs about Cate's serious theater energy soon escalated into subtle body shaming, age-related jabs, and backhanded compliments that felt more like knives than words. In one shocking example, Ryan allegedly mimicked Cate's accent during a rehearsal in front of the crew, prompting laughter from Blake and others in the room. While no formal complaint was filed at the time, Cate's demeanor noticeably changed. One crew member noted that she went from engaged and passionate to cold and distant. According to an insider, Cate is a professional, but you could tell she didn't want to be there anymore. But why is this all coming out now? Insiders believe Cate finally decided to speak out after a recent Hollywood event where she was, again, seated near Blake and Ryan. Witnesses say Cate kept her distance, refused to make eye contact, and left the venue early. When pressed about it later, she allegedly said, "It's one thing to be cruel in private, but they wear masks in public. That's what makes it so much worse." As the leaked audio made its way through Hollywood's inner circles, the response was immediate and explosive. Cate Blanchett's words didn't just shock her peers. They struck a nerve in an industry long known for protecting its elite behind layers of public relations, charm, and carefully curated image control. Behind closed doors, producers, stylists, assistants, and even fellow actors have started speaking out, quietly but clearly. One source close to the situation revealed, "People always assumed Ryan and Blake were harmless, funny, flirty, a little smug, maybe, but Cate's not the first person to feel off about them. She's just the first with the guts to say it, and that's the part that's truly shaking the industry." Cate Blanchett doesn't speak without purpose. She's not tabloid bait. She doesn't chase headlines. Her silence has always been her power, and now, breaking it has made people listen more closely than ever. The backlash against Ryan and Blake, however, was swift. Fans flooded social media with mixed reactions, some in disbelief, others already turning against the couple. Twitter threads resurfaced past interviews, in red carpet moments where Ryan made jabs at co-stars, often played off as harmless jokes. But in this new light, many of those moments now seem calculated. It's giving frat boy energy. One viral tweet read, "And Blake just exit on like a high school cheerleader." Meanwhile, Cate's supporters, fellow actors, women's rights advocates, and fans who've admired her integrity for decades have rallied behind her. The hashtags #StandWithCate and #Reynolds Lively Exposed began trending within hours. Behind the scenes, sources say Ryan's PR team went into crisis mode. Multiple interview appearances were postponed. Scheduled public outings were mysteriously canceled. Blake, too, went completely silent on social media, despite being one of the most consistent celebrity voices online. And yet, through all the silence, one thing became clear. Neither Ryan nor Blake has denied the allegations. The power couple's uncharacteristic retreat has only fueled speculation. And now, fans, critics, and journalists alike are asking, what are they hiding? As the scandal spread across media platforms, Hollywood's reaction was both swift and unsettlingly quiet. While fans were in an uproar and online discourse exploded, the film industry itself responded with what insiders call a strategic silence. No statements, no tweets, no solidarity, just calculated avoidance. But that silence is telling. Multiple sources close to major studios have admitted that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's reputations are under review. Brand executives and producers are reportedly monitoring the fallout. As social media continues to dissect the scandal, why? Because these two aren't just actors, they're multi-million-dollar brands. Ryan's affiliations with companies like Mint Mobile, Aviation, Gin, and high-profile streaming deals depend heavily on his funny, likable, unproblematic guy persona. Blake's recent ventures into fashion, skincare, and luxury lifestyle branding rely on her poised, polished, and supportive wife, mother aesthetic. But now, those images are unraveling. One ad executive told a source, "We're in a phase. If more stories surface, there could be a cascade effect. Nobody wants to be the brand caught endorsing the next cancellation." Behind the scenes, there are whispers that Cate Blanchett is considering taking things further. While she hasn't made a formal statement to the press, insiders claim she has already spoken with her legal team and may pursue a formal complaint through SAG-AFTRA or the Producers Union, not for herself, but to set a precedent for how emotional harassment in collaborative spaces is handled. And that's what makes this different from the usual celebrity drama. This isn't just a feud. This isn't about headlines or a publicity stunt. This is about power, behavior, and the unchecked privilege that comes with being too adored to question. Cate's voice has given others the courage to speak, and there are already murmurs of other colleagues, background actors, assistants, even former co-stars who might step forward next. Ryan's jokes always had a bite. One former collaborator wrote anonymously, "Everyone laughed because we were supposed to, but not everyone was okay." While Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively remain publicly silent, the ripple effect of Cate Blanchett's accusation is now spreading far beyond the original incident. This isn't just a scandal anymore, it's becoming a Hollywood reckoning. Cate's unwillingness to just let it go has sparked a broader conversation about power dynamics in celebrity culture, especially when it comes to couples who operate as a brand. Ryan and Blake have long marketed themselves as the perfect pair, funny, charming, down-to-earth. But now, that image is being dissected under a new lens. What happens when one half of a couple is problematic? What happens when both use humor to deflect accountability? And most importantly, what happens when someone as respected as Cate Blanchett pulls back the curtain? On social media, creators are now posting old clips of Ryan's jokes during interviews, not just with Cate, but with other actresses. A supercut of his past interactions with women on press tours is making the rounds on TikTok and Twitter. Titled, "Was It Ever Really Just Jokes?" The tone has shifted. What once seemed cheeky and confident now feels performative, and at times condescending. Blake Lively, too, is under fire. Not for what she said, but for what she didn't. Many feel she enabled Ryan's behavior, laughing at the expense of others, and standing by silently when Cate was visibly uncomfortable. Blake's silence isn't neutral. A viral comment reads, "It's complicity wrapped in couture." What makes this even more damning is the timing. Just days before the audio leaked, Blake posted an Instagram story promoting her new clean beauty brand, calling herself an advocate for women's voices in every room. The comments section turned brutal overnight, filled with endless, "They're older women, right?" Advocacy starts with accountability. Cate deserved better. Behind the scenes, publicists are reportedly urging Blake to release a private apology, not to fans, but directly to Cate. Whether that's already happened remains unknown. What we do know is that Cate Blanchett has not walked back her comments. In fact, sources say she's more determined than ever to make sure this moment doesn't fade away. Like every other Hollywood controversy, she's had enough of polite silence. Hollywood's golden couple, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, are now watching their once pristine reputations splinter under pressure. What began as whispers of a backstage feud has evolved into a full-blown PR crisis, with both stars suddenly finding themselves on unstable ground. Industry insiders are confirming what many already suspected, that major brands are quietly stepping back. Several sources say that endorsement deals tied to both stars are now being reevaluated. While no company has publicly dropped them yet, legal teams and marketing departments are actively reviewing clauses related to reputation risk. A luxury skincare brand set to partner with Blake reportedly halted a product rollout campaign, with one insider revealing there was hesitation. No one wants their brand associated with bullying, especially not from someone selling female empowerment. Ryan's situation is equally precarious. His comedic image, built on charm and quick wit, is now being viewed as potentially toxic and manipulative. And in a world where public trust drives ticket sales, streaming views, and product launches, this shift could be catastrophic. But perhaps the most telling blow has come from fans themselves. Social media, once overflowing with praise and memes about Blake and Ryan's hilarious couple goals moments, has turned cold. Reddit threads question their authenticity. Instagram comments are filled with disappointment. Fan accounts that once posted daily tributes are going silent. They always seem to perfect, one user wrote. Maybe that was the first red flag. And then there's CateBlanchett.com, poised and resolute. While she has still not released an official statement beyond the leaked audio, her silence now speaks volumes. Every day she doesn't apologize, doesn't walk it back, doesn't soften the impact is another day the public leans into her truth. She isn't fighting a smear campaign. She's leading a reckoning. Her actions have already inspired other women in the industry to speak out anonymously. for now, but the momentum is building, and what started as a personal confrontation is now being called a moment of industry accountability. So where does this all lead? If Blake and Ryan stay silent, they risk becoming symbols of everything Hollywood protects: charm over character, humor over harm, branding over behavior. But if they speak, they'll have to face, not just Cate, but the millions watching, listening, and no longer laughing. As the world waits for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively to break their silence, a new wave of speculation is surging behind the scenes. Insiders are now asking a dangerous question, one that could reshape everything we think we know about this scandal. Was Cate Blanchett trying to expose something even deeper than personal mistreatment? According to a source close to a major entertainment journalist, Cate has been sitting on this story for months, possibly even longer. The incident that sparked the controversy, they claim, was just one of many. Allegedly, Cate endured a pattern of subtle disrespect and humiliation from Ryan during several collaborative events, with Blake often laughing along or making dismissive comments. The problem wasn't just a joke gone too far. It was a culture of disregard, where a two-time Academy Award winner, revered globally for her contributions to cinema, was being mocked behind closed doors by people who hadn't earned half of what she had. And when Cate finally chose to speak, she didn't do it for headlines. She did it because she was done being polite. More voices are now starting to trickle in quietly, cautiously. A former studio executive anonymously told a source, "There's been a Blake and Ryan problem for a while. People just didn't talk about it because, who wants to go up against the most adored couple in Hollywood? But Cate did. And now, others might follow." Meanwhile, publicists working on behalf of Blake and Ryan are reportedly struggling to control the narrative. One PR insider told an entertainment outlet, "This isn't something they can joke their way out of. Not this time. Not with Cate involved." Attempts to quietly reach out to Cate for a private reconciliation, or at least an agreement to tone down the noise, have allegedly been met with icy silence. According to a close friend of Blanchett, she's not interested in fake apologies. And as the silence stretches on, so does the speculation. Why haven't Ryan or Blake said anything publicly? Is it legal advice? Brand protection? Guilt? Or are they hoping that, like every Hollywood controversy, this too will blow over? But here's what makes this different. Cate Blanchett is not an influencer. She's not chasing attention. She doesn't need the spotlight, she commands it when she wants to, and that's what makes her so dangerous to the Hollywood machine. Because when someone who has nothing to prove decides to speak out, people listen. The facade of perfection can only hold so long, and in Hollywood, where image is everything, the smallest crack can become a landslide. That's exactly what's beginning to unfold for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, as insiders now whisper about the long-term damage this controversy may inflict on their careers. Behind the scenes, studios are re-evaluating project alignments. A major production that had been rumored to cast Blake in a lead role is now, reportedly, on pause. Another insider revealed that Ryan's negotiations for a new streaming-exclusive comedy series have gone quiet. While no one is officially blacklisted yet, Hollywood's most powerful currency, silence, has entered the chat. And here's what's even more telling. Agents and producers aren't defending them. No anonymous quotes, no leaks about them being misunderstood. It's not just that people aren't taking their side, it's that they're refusing to touch the situation at all. One talent manager reportedly said in a closed-door discussion, "You don't go up against Cate Blanchett and walk away clean." Cate's industry reputation is bulletproof, built on decades of hard-earned respect, exceptional performances, and leadership in spaces where many A-listers fear to tread. She has no history of drama, no scandals. When she speaks, it's not gossip, it's gospel. And this is what makes Ryan and Blake's silence so deafening. Their charm isn't working. Their usual tactic, playful humor, public trolling, and viral Instagram banter now feels hollow. The internet isn't laughing. The industry isn't talking. And Cate, she's still not backing down. Instead, Blanchett has continued making strategic public appearances, powerful, graceful, and poised, as if to say, "You don't scare me." She's appeared at 2 major film panels in the past week alone, neither of which addressed the controversy directly, but both of which reminded the world exactly why she commands the level of respect she does. If this was meant to be a PR war, Cate is winning by not even playing. Can Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively recover from this? Or has Cate Blanchett, with one devastating, measured blow, ended the reign of Hollywood's most untouchable couple? At the surface, it may still seem like a minor scandal. No criminal charges, no lawsuits, just words. But in 2025, words carry power, and Cate's truth has set off a chain reaction that no PR team can easily contain. Because this time, the public isn't reacting with short-lived outrage. They're watching, they're waiting, they're remembering. This isn't a random internet rumor. This is Cate Blanchett. And when someone of her stature speaks, it rewrites reputations. While Blake and Ryan may eventually speak, apologize, or rebrand, the image they once maintained, effortless, witty, flawless, has been permanently altered. What was once adored is now viewed with suspicion. That once enviable Hollywood power couple brand now carries the stain of elitism, cruelty, and performative charm. And here's the truth, this moment goes beyond just these three names. Cate Blanchett's decision to speak up, to name behavior that so many women have endured but remained silent about, has created a cultural rupture in an industry obsessed with appearances. She didn't counsel Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. She exposed the system that allowed their behavior to go unchecked. She didn't demand sympathy. She demanded standards, and in doing so, she sparked a conversation that is likely to outlast the scandal itself. One where humor is no longer a shield for cruelty, where power couples don't get a pass just because they look perfect, where calling out bad behavior, even quietly, has the potential to shift the balance of who holds power and why. As for Cate, she continues forward with her work, her art, and her unwavering grace, unbothered, unshaken, unapologetic. And Ryan and Blake, well, they may still walk the red carpet, they may still post selfies and land rolls, but from now on, every smile, every joke, every interview will be viewed differently. Because once the mask slips, it doesn't go back on. Not in Hollywood.